Ooh, what? You want me to what? Yeah, they called me. Hey, you want to come over to Los Angeles and work with Frank Zappa? And I was, 5 minutes. It was unbelievable. It's just...
Going back to the initial moment. Somebody called you and asked you if. Tell the story, please.
Yeah, well, I got the call, and then 5 minutes of my memory is erased. I don't know what had happened. It was just a blank space on my videotape.
And that was short. I mean, a short period from
it was
getting that call to
I had a couple of gigs. I was working in Munich in a theater. So I was living in Wuppertal actually, but working in Munich and in Frankfurt. And I had to do a couple of gigs. I had to get my visa for the States. And it was like a week or something. It was really, really fast.
From the call to my shaking hands
with Frank, yeah.
So you went straight to his house?
Yeah.
In Los Angeles?
Los Angeles, yeah.
You took a taxi and you...
I was picked up by the orchestra, of course. Well, I mean, I never was in Los Angeles before that, so I didn't know how to get around. So they picked me up, and it was late at night, and and they were all assembled at Frank's place. So I met Frank at his house.
And how nervous were you?
I was very nervous, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
You're basically not a nervous guy.
Not really, but
that's just shaking.
It's just like unbelievable.
And how was he?
He was very nice. He was so nice. Within a second he could resolve any how do you say, suspense or tension or whatever. Tension. He just offered me a cigarette.
I don't smoke.
No. And
he was a chain smoker.
He was smoking all the time. Yeah. No, he was very sweet and kind and gentle, a gentleman, and
Wow.
And then it immediately was like a work, like sitting like with you here. I mean, we're just talking, and what can we do? Well, we went into work. We just jumped into work, and it felt very natural and normal and nice, and sometimes very funny. We really could. We had our laughs.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that was already in a stadium where he had this cancer.
He had cancer, and it wasn't official yet, but he had a lot of pain sometimes, and you don't know. I mean, it's somebody said that was the long-term how do you say effect from what happened to him in the 70s when he fell into the orchestra pit stuff like
he was
that.
Pushed,
So we don't know.
Into the gap, into the orchestra gap,
pit,
like
in the orchestra
something
pit.
like he fell like 3 meters,
something like that,
and was on the wheelchair for half a year.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we don't know. But it was way too early.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
way too early.
But I mean, connecting to that subject. Not long ago, here in Germany, was produced a live album with songs from Frank Zappa, and like the initiator was Napoleon Murphy Brock, huh? Or was he just featured?
It was. It has a long story which I wrote on. The record was produced by me and co-produced by Ralf Kessler from Hamburg.
Yes,
who did also the mastering. Napoleon Murphy Brock is still performing and singing Frank's material. For those who don't know, Napoleon Murphy Brock used to be the lead singer of Frank's Mothers of Invention 73, 74, 75.
Was he before or after Ike Willis, or were they together?
It was before.
Before Ike Willis.
Ike Willis was more like in the, I think Ike Willis started in the 80s, 81, 82. Right. So we contacted him, and I talked to the manager of the Musikfabrik, who was, by the way, the former bass player of Ensemble Modern, Small World. And so I brought everything together, So I brought the Sabanale together with the Musikfabrik, and we contacted Napoleon Murphy Brock, and he said, okay, he would do that. And so
Fantastic.
one led to the other. And then Ralf Kessler came into the picture. Ralf is, for those who don't know, he's like an institution. He's like the one of the Jedi Knights of mastering and sound. He's a very knowledgeable engineer who has been working for decades. And so we had that recording, and it's multi-track, like, I don't know, 30, no more than 30. I have to count it. I have it here.
Yeah. So we're going to do this.
We'll have a look later.
Yes.
And so we recorded that, and over the pandemic, the concert was in 2019. And over the pandemic years, we did the editing and the mixing, and it was a long process because with a live recording like this, with so many microphones, you can imagine it was just it's open air, and all kinds of problems to solve, and finally we made it. Eventually, we made it into a record. I changed a little bit the order of the pieces we had, and that's the title of the album is Bad Doberan and Elsewhere, which also, of course, refers to Roxy and Elsewhere.
Exactly.
A classic live album by Frank. And the reason why it's called Roxy and Elsewhere is that it's mainly recorded in the Roxy club.
In the club, but live. It's live. Yeah, it's one.
But the Elsewhere means there have been some overdubs.
Yeah.
So that's what we did also. It's completely recorded in Bad Doberan, and but we did a few some overdubs. For instance, the Village of the Sun, the song Village of the Sun. We had multiple vocal tracks to make it a little bit nicer, and we had to replace some it's live. It's 24 people playing, and it's one shot, and of course mistakes happen, so we did a few corrections to that.
Yeah.